Okay, here we are at part two, and of creating my emotional support dolly. Um, what I have here is I have a box of scraps, and not this is a piece of a shoelace. Um, a box of little bitty scraps, and they're little, and so this is where I use scraps, even the smallest scraps, and I have scraps that I make into smaller scraps. And so this is what I use to cover the bodies where the clothes is going to be. Now, this one here, I'm trying my hand. I'm going to make a boy, and so this is a boy. So that's why he's got like a lot of denim at the bottom, because that's his boy breeches. And then I just got this. I used the shoelace that I'm making him some suspenders. And there's going to get two buttons put here and two buttons put back here to hold on his suspenders. But that's what I use this box. Okay, and so I just use this thread here. I always use this multicolored thread. It's pretty much turned into my signature that everything I do is multicolored threaded. Comes out of laziness, I don't want to have to switch different spools of thread. Okay, so what I do now is I start picking from this box and I start stitching them on. Now when I did the boy, I started at the bottom. I started him at the bottom and it worked my way up because I wanted to make sure that the pants part were all just pieces of denim. And then I got them just stitched right on there. And so that it kind of looks like he's got on some little blue jeans. And so anyway, but usually I start them at the tops. And so, which I guess it really doesn't matter where you start them. You just keep stitching. And I just put on a piece of fabric, just a little piece of fabric, just to start it, and then I just start stitching it on. And sometimes I put the pieces on by doing like a I'm trying to think of the name of the stitch and it's not coming to me, but where you just, this is just a in and out stitch here, whip stitch. Then sometimes that's not a whip stitch, that's just a in and out. But then sometimes I'll go around the edge like this and do a whip stitch, and I just leave the pieces when I put them on. I put them on it's raw edge, just raw edge, and I just keep stitching until the whole thing is stitched right on there. And so and this is where I usually turn on a video or something and watch while I'm doing the stitching. And so, and actually, like, I just went around this whole piece. You don't really have to go around the whole piece, because now the next piece, see, that one piece is on. Okay, because then you'll take your next piece and just put it on, and it's covering part of what I already stitched. See, so if you know exactly where you're going to put that next piece on, then you could probably not stitch right there. And sometimes I do that, but I wouldn't have had to stitch right along that part. This part is going to get covered up by this little piece. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it straight against now where that arm is, so it's straight there on that crease. And so and because, yeah, well, just because, that's why. And so then, of course, there we'll just get that running stitch down that edge. See, I just put that running stitch down that edge, and it's right in the crease where the arm is, so that it just fits in there like the top of the outfit is fitted in. Okay, see, now I didn't stitch that right on this edge right there on the this edge, because now I'll pick up another piece, and when I pick up another piece, I'm going to pick up something that I don't already have in there, so it'll be different. And see, I'll put that piece there, and that's really too big. We'll fold it in half. I could cut it in half, but I'm just gonna fold it, because I don't use pieces that are too big in this, doing this, because I want them to be a lot of different, a lot of contrasting. So now see, because I didn't sew the inside part of that blue piece, because then I knew I was going to cover that up. So, and then I'll just go around, and I'm just doing a whip stitch around this piece now. And one other thing is, when I like, this thread is going to end down there, so I'll probably, my next piece will be right there. So there's no real direction that you need to go. You just do whatever. It's a calming little slow stitch, fashionable something. See, I got the weirdest pieces here that don't match or nothing. But look at that piece, will fit right in there along her hand. And so that one's going to go right there. So I've got pieces in here that they're not all little squares. They're little different sizes of littles, and they're different sizes, and yeah. I don't know where my words are today. I'm usually so full of words, and today is, I guess, well, I haven't drank any coffee. Maybe that's it. But see, I just picked that piece up just the way it is. It's got a little extra piece going down here. And so I'll just stitch that on there. And turn around and come back up. It might get covered up in the, it may get covered up. Oh. It kind of snagged onto the stocking down there. That's okay, it's going to get covered up. So, and I use a double thread on these, because you don't really have to. You could use a single thread, and then your thread goes further. But because I like the thread to show, it's part of the craziness of it. I don't know, it's just okay. See, now I have to rethread my needle, so I'll cut that off right there, and I have that much stitched on now. And I may not get this whole thing, I might not get this whole thing, all your clothing made on this little video, because sometimes I go pretty fast and sometimes I go pretty slow, and I think today is a slow day. And so ooh, good, I got that through there on that first try. I like to use a small needle when I'm doing this part, and I like to use a small needle just because it's a lot easier to get in the small places with a small needle. Okay, and so now I'm got a new needle started, so I'm gonna go back up here to this corner, this little piece, and ooh. And so this one is a kind of an odd shape too, but I like that little piece of light blue. Oh, I think I'll go under the arm here on this side too now. All right, I'll go under the arm. See, I'll get that tucked under. I got that one kind of tucked under her arm there. So now we'll get that stitched on there. And because these are perfectly imperfect, I don't mind that my knot, the knot on the end of the thread is right there. It shows. That's because these are perfectly imperfect little emotional support dolls. And they remind you that things are not perfect. They will not always be perfect. And perfection is just a little overrated. And most of us need emotional support because things are so imperfect. And because of maybe a mistake, or maybe because just something is just hard to accept. And so that's why these little dolls are just, you just pick up the pieces and you stitch them together. You pick up the pieces and you stitch them together. And then, okay, see, now I got that piece on there. Now we need a piece like right here. So I'm going to pick, oh, look at there. I got a little piece of rickrack in there. I think I'll take that little piece. No, maybe that little piece won't fit on there, but I want to use that little piece in here somewhere, so I'm going to find a something else. And no, then that one's too, well, I don't want to get too particular. So that one's kind of big. I'm gonna cut this one, and I'm gonna put this one just right in here. See, I don't want the pieces too big, but I don't think they can be too small, because I've put some of these together with a piece so small that it took only like 2 stitches to hold the piece on there. And so, and then also, you know, I might put 3 or 4 pieces on there and then see that I got a little tiny bitty piece of her body still showing, which she does not like, little bitty itty pieces of her body still showing. So I'm gonna turn this a little bit here. So yeah, so then I'll use a little bitty piece. I'm sorry if I'm sounding, I feel like I can't hardly even say a whole sentence today. Um, most of you know that I've trying to deal with the loss of my little girl, my daughter. It still doesn't seem possible that she's no longer here. And so that's part of the reason that I even came up with these emotional support dollies. And is to make them to give myself some emotional support going through these days. You know, people tell me that it gets easier with time. Well, and yes, I do know that in some ways it gets easier with time. At my age, 74, I've lost a lot of people, a lot of friends, and a lot of family and stuff. And it seems like each loss is different. You grieve differently. I've lost 2 brothers, lost my mom and my dad. I've lost aunts and uncles, and I've lost friends, grandparents. They're all gone, waiting for me. And each one is different. I'm telling you, you grieve differently. But a child, losing a child, and even though the child being adult, I don't know how it makes it any different than if the child was well, I don't know. I've not lost a toddler or infant or not anything like that. And so but there, now I just got that little piece of rickrack and I put that right there. And so that's in there. That's in there for its whole life. And so, but I find just playing with these scraps of fabric and building the little doll is emotional support in itself. And that's why I want to show a couple of you have, like in the comments, I see where some want to try it on their own to make their own little emotional support doll. And I think if you make one, you'll probably make more than one, because, well, if you get a pair of socks, you got to make at least 2. Use both them socks. But you'll see how supportive and how calming effect you get just by creating something like this. Something that's not perfect. You're not following any specific pattern. You're just stitching. You're just putting pieces on. And like here now, I only got that 2 sides on there. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece here now. That's orange next to orange, but that's okay. That's all right. See, we don't have no directions, no pattern to follow. And I have made some of them that one of her little legs comes out a little bit more chubby than the other one, and so they all come up different. But you know, I think they all come up beautiful. They all have a personality when you're finished. with them. And but their personality doesn't show up until until you have them completed or near completion. And see, here I went from the whip stitch to a running stitch. It doesn't matter. Just any kind of you don't get the thread in and out there to hold the fabric to the body, to her little body. She don't want to lose her clothes in the wind. See, now I just have a little piece. You can see now I've got a lot of the front finished, and yeah, I won't get it all done today, or I'll get the rest of it. I won't get it all done on this video. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because it does take a little while, and you don't need to be in no big old hurry. And some of them too, I've went in and put in the patches, put them in, and then afterward I've taken my needle and thread and went around and found little corners and stuff that needed to be a little bit more secure, and so then I just go and put a few more stitches in. I mean, even after it's, see now right up there I got a little spot that's, I might put a button there because I might put buttons up her front. And so, but see, she's coming along there, and like you can, you know, I've done like all one colors in some, like just all one color, like all different blues. I've done a couple of them with just different blues, and I did one that was a lot of reds. I think that's the one I had give red hair to as well. But then what I'll do now, see, is I'm going to cut just that tiny edge of that piece, that other piece off, because I want to kind of leave it straight across, as straight as I can, because then around the bottom, around the neckline, I'm going to add lace, some kind of lace. That's what I'll do tomorrow. I'm going to finish up with the patchwork today. I'm showing you how I do it, and of course you might come up with a different way of doing things, you know, because these, like I say, these just really do not have a right and a wrong. There is definitely no wrong way. And so as you can see now, I've got to thread my needle again. There's a lot of needle threading going on in here. But this is what I'm going to now see right here, and I've been working over 20 minutes just on this piece here. So, and I have her whole back. Oh, looks like I must have snipped a piece of, I snipped something right off of the stocking there, but that'll be okay because I'll patch her up. I'll patch that right up, and she'll be covered with another patch of fabric. I've got such pretty pieces here, such pretty, beautiful pieces, and I'll get this finished. But on this one, Well, I was working on this one yesterday. This one's all done, except I haven't given her a face yet. I don't know why she doesn't have a face. But see how I will go with this borders around. Sometimes I put it around the little, like a cap sleeve too. And so, but on this one, all different stitches. And it's, and you can see some of it is just, it's just so nothing is just perfect in this. I have somebody that saw this one with her green hair, and Miss Lori, I think she wants this one. And so, but then like in the boy, you can see where a lot of different stitches went into the, a lot, you can see the stitches is what I mean. They're not different style stitches, and they're not anything fancy stitches. There's a piece of frayed denim that's still frayed. I'm just going to leave that like that. But I just love the look of the stitches around. And so, but that's what I leave the arms. So you can see the arms. I leave their little feet. But the rest of them, it's covered with the little patchworks. And so I probably am going to work on him some more today. I'll finish the dressing on this one, and then tomorrow on this one I'm going to work on the trimmings. Like I'll see what I'm going to use for the borders. This one here, he's not going to get any ruffles because he's a boy, so he's not going to get any lace. He doesn't want lace. I might go around the cuff line. Well, there's already pretty much stitching along the cuff line. I was thinking maybe I might go along the cuff line, and I might, with just a whip stitch of maybe embroidery floss, just to give it a little bit more of something. But I don't think I'm going to add anything to the neckline on here unless I make a bow tie. Maybe I'll make a bow tie. But he's going to have short hair. One of the things I really like is that long hair. That's why I've only really done girls. Oh, I did one boy, not out of the sock, but I made a boy out of just a different way. And he had long hair, but I like boys with long hair. I like them men buns, man buns. And so, but I only want to stay on for like a half an hour. I don't want to bore you all half out of your minds, And so I don't want these to be real long, so I'm not going to let that happen. But so I'm going to leave her like that. I'm going to get myself a cup of coffee, but first I'm going to, I always leave with a reading, a poem, but lately I like songs. Oh, this is the one I said yesterday that I think I want to sing. And so this, I'm done with the doll for today. So if you want to turn it off now, then I understand. But some have told me they like for my songs and my readings and stuff. So this one is When the Roll is Called Up Yonder. Now, if you know that song, sing right along with me. When the trumpet of the Lord shall sound, and time shall be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved on earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. On that bright and cloudless morning, when the dead in Christ shall rise, and the glory of his resurrection share. When his chosen ones shall gather to their home beyond the skies, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn till setting sun. Let us talk of all his wondrous love and care. Then when all of life is over and our work on earth is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Okay, I ask God to watch over each and every one of you. Every step you take, every move you make, keep you safe, keep you secure, keep you happy and healthy and humble. And I will see you tomorrow. And by tomorrow I'll have all these little pieces on, and I'm going to put the trimmings on her then. And then the last day I'll put on her hair. That'll be the next day. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, I appreciate you so much. And I thank you so much. So many have liked and subscribed to my videos, and I appreciate that more than I can tell you. And if you're coming back, when you're coming back, it's like even that's a blessing for me. Okay, ask God to watch over you. Like I said, every step you take, every move you make, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, God bless. God bless.